Hi, I'm Victor, welcome to Fractal Paradox, and today we're gonna be breaking down my entry to the Eternal Ascent Community Render Challenge. So, infinite staircase, huh? And also vertical video. This is gonna be a hard one, isn't it? Fortunately, I had a very good idea right away. There's this very cool series of books that I am addicted to called the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. And since I had just spent weeks working on a short film based on those books, which by the way nobody has seen because I completely fucked up the upload process, so please go watch it after you watch this video. But anyway, I was working on this short film, and so I already had a lot of assets and stuff that were basically done, and so I decided to make a Stormlight Archive based entry, and I also had the perfect character for this, Jasnah Jasnah is the best character. Out of the entire series, Jasnah is definitely my favorite character. She's basically perfect in every way. And also, she's asexual, which is cool. Anyway, in case you haven't read the series, I'll try to be very light on spoilers, but basically, there's a scene on book 3 where Jasnah uses some mysterious powers to climb a staircase, which has been formed out of thin air by smoke. So she's like walking up the stairway as she builds it, just like Fortnite. Interesting concept for this Eternal Ascent staircase, since we already had the staircase. And so there's when feature creep started coming through, because Jasnah also has other powers. She's an L scholar. She can shift between realms. And so I decided to actually make her shift between realms, which was the worst decision I could possibly have. Two completely different environments, a cool transition / teleportation effect, and I had to do all of that in 120 frames. I first started by importing my cool environment that I had done for the short film, and then I completely forgot about it, didn't touch it again for like 2 or 3 weeks. Where did I spend this other 2 weeks? You probably noticed already that this is a simulated dress, and Blender is notoriously very bad at simulating stuff. Okay, cloth sims are pretty decent. I only spent like a couple days tweaking this dress design, exporting it as a lemme, importing it back, adding collision between the different parts of the dress. I thought that was pretty cool. And so I went into geometry nodes, and well, I knew I wanted the stairs to remain the same shape even with the realm shift teleportation thing, and so I decided to use geometry nodes and points. I distributed points in face and volume, and then I distorted it with some noise textures, and the result was this. I thought it was pretty cool. Now that I had that, and since I had a point-based effect, I decided to use some more knowledge from the books and put that side of the stairs in Shadesmar. Shadesmar is where ideas are alive. This is a very cool series of books. You should definitely read them. They're like 2,000 pages a book, but you've read Game of Thrones. I know you did. Since they are in Shadesmar, I had a lot of problems because, first of all, Shadesmar shadows are supposed to be inverted, pointing towards the light. I wasn't able to do that, unfortunately, but I sure wasted a lot of time trying. About like a week before I gave up. And so I put everything indoors, and I added some armies. They always made the GPU run out of memory. I had to do everything in a lot of layers. If you didn't know, during this challenge, EmberGen was free for everyone participating. So I got a key and I tried to make it work. It didn't work at the beginning, and then I complained about it on Discord, and the developers messaged me and walked me through some debugging and got it working. Nice. Thank you, EmberGen devs. I'm too broke, but I'm gonna definitely try to buy it. Very good. Anyway, now that I had EmberGen, I started to feel a little bit too powerful. And so I decided to make a bunch of smoke simulations. I did like a dozen or so very big smoke simulations and put a big storm there. If you want to know why it's red and why those lightning flashes almost destroy your eyes, you will have to read the book. Basically, most of the concepts were already done for me because it's fan art. I had the book descriptions, but the hard thing was to adapt it in a way that it was possible for my 8 gigabytes of VRAM. I have seen this message so many times. Anyway, after I was done with this very cool Shadesmar environment, I swapped it out for another environment, and I tried to twist the corridor and add some monsters from the books, and it didn't work, and so I just gave up, put a bunch of mirrors together, and threw in some smoke simulations. Nice. It looks cool. It has basically nothing to do with the books. Who knows? Fan fiction. Whoa! Now I had this second environment to worry about, so I imported in all my smoke simulations, suffered through like 20 crashes or something. Boom! This is the base layer rendered, and then I added some soldiers soldiers, which you basically can't see on the final picture, but I painstakingly UV unwrapped and made like 10 different variations, instanced them all with geometry nodes, and did like a cool like soldier switching system, and I instanced those banners with simulations. You can't even see the simulation. If you notice, the soldiers, by the way, all of the torch soldiers are the same mesh, so they all move in conjunction with each other. I put a note in the back of my mind to fix that, and then I submitted, and then I looked back and I saw the soldiers in it. Oh, right. They all move together. Now I just needed to design a cool teleportation effect. That was what I spent the most time on. I tried to make a portal, it didn't work. I tried to make like a cool fade between the two worlds, it didn't work. I tried some particle effects, some smoke effects. I tried some cloth simulation to make like the world bend around the character. It also didn't work. And oh look, it's the last week. And so I decided to do it later and just started rendering everything. Totally by accident, I imported back some of the ocean assets that I had for this first version, and then I noticed that my ocean shader looked very cool, and so I just put a lot of ocean planes, and then I added a refraction shader to them, and so I animated them with shape keys to like suck back into the character, and it looks very cool, kind of novel teleportation effect. Oh, I should have done this in reverse, right? I should have expanded Shattered Plains world from her, like exploding from her. That would look more like teleportation, I think. But, well, what is done is done. I rendered everything and it looked kinda cool. Except for this, I didn't like the way that the smoke just appeared behind the rocks. I wasn't really happy with it, but it was kind of the last 2 or 3 days, and I didn't think I would make it. But I tried anyway. If I was to do all of those new smoke simulations in Blender, it would take me 3 weeks. But to EmberGen, like 5 minutes later, boom. And then I mixed them with some geometry nodes instancing, and now there's lots of rocks coming out of the explosions. It's still not perfect. I wanted to have the ground shatter below the explosions. If you think there's too much stuff going on, I completely agree with you. That's a problem. That was my biggest hurdle this entire project, and in the end I ended up not being able to render at that many samples, and it got kinda noisy, but thankfully even free version of DaVinci has some very cool denoising tools, so that worked out, except for this corner of the staircase that I really don't like. Anyway, that's it. Sorry it took so long for me to upload anything again. Go watch the video, by the way. I worked very hard on it and literally nobody saw it because I fucked up. I guess I had to explain why I haven't posted anything in months. It's because I was working on this very big 2-hour-long project where I rewrote the last episode of The Wheel of Time Season 2. I just worked for months on this, and I decided I don't want to do it anymore. And like this like 5,000 word like essay on the scenes that are moved around. 3 hours of recording that I'm not putting anywhere because I sound very bad and I would have to re-record everything. So yeah, that's why I haven't posted anything besides my day job, which I quit, by the way. Gotta look for a new job. Bye.